Hello, 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 people. Welcome to Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the trip. Yeah, it is a little day late, but we're here. We made it. Hello, everybody, and with me to start the show is Tony. He was actually backstage before me. His camera was off, but he was backstage before me. How you doing, Tony?
I'm all right. I was just looking to see if they got an update on the medical tests. I was still here.
Okay, good, good, no problem. All right, so before we even get started, let's just do this. We'll just go within like 90 seconds. There'll be a party of three.
Hello.
Welcome to the stage, Spencer. How you doing?
I'm good. Hello, Tony.
Hello, Spencer.
All right. So we haven't even talked football yet. Let me say hi to the people, and then we'll get started. Some guy named DWTT was in here. Miss Melina's joined us. Welcome to the show. Got Steve and Arsenal Misfit is here from the north, and got Tyrell Gunna TV. Welcome up. Oh, he says, "Big up, boys. Welcome to the show." All right, everyone. Whew. I'm just gonna. Everybody's saying, "This how things are on your side of the country."
Well, was that your
Oh,
for us getting 3 points, Gary?
yeah, that was Let me get. Big Gunna has joined us as well, so let's get going. Yeah, let's get going. So yeah, I was just kind of going. Whew. Yes, so we got the 3 points, and I'm going to say it because everybody believes me now. Performance over result. Everybody believes that now for some reason. I hear a lot of like, well, we got the 3 points, but that was a terrible performance. And we're only allowed to say that when we win. I like to say when we win easy sometimes. I like to say it a lot. So that's I guess that people call that negative, but that's kind of how I saw it. Yes, performances haven't been good, but I think there's been reasons for that. But nobody wants to hear the reasons. So the performance was bad. Well, for whatever reason, we got to win. We're taking it. So Tony, what's your initial thoughts on the game?
I'm lucky to get the 3 points. Still gotta get all these guys playing with each other. Been out on injury, come back. Takes a while to click. Hear all the criticisms of Ughhhh, but he's still tied for the most goals on the team in the Premier League. So that part's good, but the performance was awful. It almost seemed like they get a third goal in the 90th plus minute. They score, we score. And we didn't actually score a goal. They scored them all for us.
Yeah, we've gone from set piece FC to open play FC to now own goal FC. And nobody likes any of them. They don't like any way we score. Spencer, how do you feel about your initial thoughts on the game?
Better now, 3 days later.
All right, so let's go back. Let's go back.
Well, if you really want to know where I'm thinking more about Everton at this point. I'm also wondering why the hell the Carabao Cup games are the 3 other matchups are this week and ours isn't this week. There's questions I have, but that's for later on in this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with getting the extra week off this at early and as opposed to later.
No, well, yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, a week off isn't going to hurt this team. I can tell you that. I was irritated more than anything else about just like missed opportunities. I really hate the narratives. I mean, we'll talk about it because like the Yorkerez narrative.
No. We'll get into that, but just your initial thoughts on the game.
Yeah,
And we'll
that's my irritation is just like I'm glad we got the 3 points. I'm not happy with the performance, but I'm glad that we're not sitting here talking about a draw or a loss.
Mm.
So at the end of the day, I'll take what I can get. But again, like I heard someone say this, and I agree with this. We play fucking walking football sometimes. That's absolutely spot on. Like we're waiting for this most perfect shot opportunity, and it's just I don't know, like whatever. I mean, just we'll unpack it. We'll unpack it.
All right. So we'll get to that. Let's go through the chat real quick. Yep. Arsenal Misfit says the worst performance he's ever seen since '76. Yeah, that's saying a lot. I haven't seen that much of Arsenal. Got Gap 8175. Welcome to the show. Big up to you. All right. And Arsenal Misfit said the fact that we had to rely on the worst team in the league and possibly the history of the Premier League to score our goals speaks volumes about our style of play. Yeah. Yeah, no. Well,
that's undersold, though. They're tied for the worst ever in England, which was the fourth division team started the season this bad. So one of the worst teams ever in England.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, no, I don't. Well, it shows. It really shows. And I guess we'll get into this because this for me is probably more. We'll start with Arteta because I think the style of football, because we can get into the players as well, but we'll start with Arteta on this one. For me, it shows for me at least that Arteta can do everything he wants to on the defensive end. On the attacking end, he's not listening or he doesn't have any answers. Like you can't tell me that a team that has, what is it? They've only scored what? What is it? They've only scored 9 goals. 9 goals in this season. This is the 16th game of this. They've only scored 9 times. They've given up 35, and yet they've scored essentially 3 goals in one game and lost 2-1. Right? That's kind of that's what it looks like. So for me, that for me just sounds like Arteta got this one wrong with the way that he set up the team, and at least the mentality that these players came in on. And I believe some of that is on Arteta. We'll get into the players as well, but I think some of that's on Arteta, the way he sets this team up. I mean, you kind of said it there, Spencer, with the way we play, but this has been the same way all around. It's just that we've had better players on the pitch. You start losing some of those players and things don't look the same, or they're just coming back from injury. But I think a lot of it is the way that we set up. Like defensively, it doesn't matter who we put in there. We don't drop off significantly, right? We don't drop off ridiculously, right? Where we do on the attacking side. Our best front three, I believe, is Saka. I believe it's Gyökeres, and then Trossard on the left. That's what I believe. You lose Trossard, we basically, boom, we're done. You lose Saka on one side, we're done. You lose Gyökeres, we struggle. Like one player from the front line and we're done. That should not be the way. We lost Gabriel and we're still able to click a little bit. You lose Gabriel and Saliba, not so much, right?
I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you on that. So you're telling me right now Saka's different levels, but Madueke is a massive, like he's just
no. I didn't even bring him up. I was talking about our starting attack and saying how.
I want to say this though. I know we're talking about the Wolves game, but we're really just forgetting the Champions League game last week, are we? Because that's the true story here. We're just talking about the 2-1 Wolves.
No, but
game.
Okay, but you know how that is.
But it matters. But
they're different types of games, right?
It still matters.
It doesn't. It's not the same game. We don't see the style of football that we see day in, day out in the Premier League.
We don't see
in the Champions League.
But again, that matters.
That
matters, though.
Teams set up defensively against us and somehow are able to stop us. They don't do the same thing in the Champions League, and when they do, we struggle. And when like anything else, once we score a goal, they have their decision to make. Do they stick to their guns or do they open up? Like Atletico Madrid opened up, done, right?
But also, we're also talking about the quality of chances taken. The Madueke goals from the Champions League game and the Martinelli goals from the Champions League game were good open play goals. Opportunities and shots that we do not take in the Premier League and didn't take on Saturday. I watched the highlights before coming in. It's just two different. It's two different tales of the tape. So there is a team in here that can be very expressive, very open, plays very well, and then there's a team that when they sit up against a low block, they just bottle up and can't figure out what to do. Well, let's just sling it out to the sides and see if Saka can head the ball. And one of the first plays, and 7 minutes in, there's a header. There's a cross into the box. The first person that heads it right in front of Gyökeres is Timber. Why the hell are you taking that shot over Gyökeres? Why isn't Gyökeres there first? Is that on Timber?
You could tell he wasn't happy about it either.
Yes, I saw his face. He looked down at him because that's the second time Timber has taken a header opportunity off of Gyökeres. He did it in the Chelsea game, and now he's done it again in the Wolves game. What are you doing, Jurrien Timber, in the 6-yard box? In the middle.
I'll tell you this. That is something Arteta allows, and that's what I don't get sometimes. So you bring up
also.
You're bringing up this scenario, and I'm going to tell you, I think that is Arteta written all over it. He will let his defenders run ruckus on the pitch. We see it. Calafiori just bomb up the pitch. We've seen it years ago. We saw it with who?
I'm just saying that they have a freedom to do what they want to do.
We've seen this. We've seen this. When he first got here, right? Because I can't think of the guy's name, but the vegetarian. What was his name? The right winger, right fullback for us. He hurt his knee and he's basically lost his pace, and that was all she wrote. I can't. Who? Bellerin. Yes. Remember the Bellerin play where he's bombing up the pitch? He's stuck inside the box, and then Holding has to defend against. This is in a North London derby against Son. Because what? Because his fullback is bombing up the pitch, and then I think in that same scenario, that is when Partey pulls up lame and Arteta's pushing him back on the pitch in that game. But that's how we play. He gives so much freedom to the defense, so many restrictions on the offense, and we see it, week after week after week.
I disagree on the restrictions. The lack of structure.
You know what? You know why I say restrictions? It's a mental thing, because if you watch it, these players don't get as much freedom. They're thinking about passing long before, anywhere near the 18, anywhere near the final third, they should be looking to score. The last thing they're doing is they're trying to pass it. Why is the header that Martinelli gets, right? There is nobody in front of him except for the goalkeeper, right? All he has to do with that header is put it down on the ground in front of the goal. He probably scores. Why is he going back? Why is he going back against the grain, crossing it?
He's squandered like three. He's squandered like 3 chances in that first half.
But for me, that's
on Martinelli. That's on Martinelli.
I believe that's taught, because if it wasn't, he wouldn't do it again.
It's not
okay. It's allowed to happen. Whichever one you want to take, it's still bad.
Yes, absolutely, we're agreeing on that. But it's Arteta's fault that Martinelli decided to. How is that Arteta's fault that Martinelli?
Because the
mindset in the 3-yard box and he's just like boom.
Yeah, but you know what? How many times have we seen something like that?
Can we start where Spencer started?
But that's not where I started. I started with Arteta, and he went into a lot of other things.
There's a lot to unpack here, more than just Arteta.
No, I know, but I wonder, we could get into each individual player because they all have. But
it is an Arteta thing, because he's the one that has them playing this slow, methodical, predictable football. But Vouchers kept pointing it out there. Like, if they would play with some pace, this game would have been over ages ago. But no, they wouldn't do that. You see it change as soon as the start comes on, because he's trying to find Gyökeres. He's trying to find a shot if he just gets a second. But you buy Gyökeres, but you don't change your style of play. Gyökeres wants the ball in open space. It's not, you can't hold up play with the striker or have him go play defense. That's not what he does. You know what you bought. You know how he scores. You know Eze can help with that. Medeke can help with that. Tressard helps with it. That's why Tressard's starting over Martinelli most of the time. Not sure why Tressard didn't get the start on Saturday. That's a different story. But you've got to change the pace. It's been slow. It's been slow for years. And it ends up hurting us because we submit these teams away. And if you want to get past the block, you get back behind them.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
rocket science.
yeah. No, like I said,
I mean, like Saka, it's like he was the only one wanting to attack, but he just kept on crossing the ball. He wouldn't do anything else with it. It's like he could only get outside the 18-yard box and wasn't allowed to go inside of it.
that's not true for Saka. He did get into the box and he did get past his man and he did make crosses multiple times in the
Saka
game.
was
I'm not saying he didn't get past his man, but he kept crossing the shit out of it.
Yeah, he's crossing it because guess what? And I've been saying this since day one. What have I said? If Saka gets the ball out on the wing and he's able to get past his man, you should already be there, Gyökeres. You should be already at the near post. He will get the ball there. Just get there. And we saw it, right? The cross comes in. If he's a second faster, he tips that home. And that happens a lot. That nobody's there for Saka, right? He will get the ball there. They have to continue to make that run. Even when they don't think it's coming.
Gyökeres was late on that run for certain too.
No, it was all on him, but that was the only opportunity he had to get a tip in like that in the game.
Minus that first header that Timber decided to take for his own.
But I mean, the only time that he got that taken from him, I'm not gonna. I can't blame.
We don't know if he puts it on target.
No, but we can't blame Gyökeres for that one. He didn't.
No, I don't think you can blame him for
area.
I think we're grasping at the wrong thing here. Like, it's not us. All right. The narrative with Gyökeres has been so weird since he got here. Tony said it perfectly. Was he leading the team in goals in the Premier League? I think he's got 18 games, 6 goals, 2 in the Champions League, 4 in the league. Okay, I would love for him to bang in 30 already by this point, but it's not realistic. It's just not. I mean, but the only way you're going to get him to get more goals is he's got to play. Now, the injury hurt him in the first part because he got overplayed. But, even people talked about who's going to start Saturday. It's going to be Gyökeres in my book. You're playing. The Carabao Cup, Gyökeres, you're playing. Whatever you can do to boost his confidence or put more goals in the back of the net with him, you're gonna do with him. But I mean, there's just so many squandered opportunities. If Martinelli scores that goal, that game changes completely, and we're not even sitting here having a conversation about it. It opens everything up, and they probably fold like a deck of cards. But it didn't happen. But Martinelli plays good in the Champions League, so Martinelli gives you one good game and gives you a dud game. But then we don't even know if Trossard could have started the game because he had to come off during the Villa game at the 90th minute. Was he good to go for a full 90? I don't know. Didn't seem like it, but these questions to be asked. You got the win. Again, like, we're not sitting here talking about 3 straight games of drop points.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reality here.
Yeah. No. All right, we'll go through the chat real quick and we'll move on a little bit. I believe Martinelli has scored a header because if I remember correctly, back to probably 3 years ago, Cross came in and he heads it home. And that's when we were talking about maybe him playing as a center forward because he could put a ball on, he could put a header in. And that might have been his double-digit scoring year or whatever. So I think he can. Let's see what we got here. We'll get to your comments here about Everton. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Was it 2 years ago? We set a club record for goals after Arteta dropped the slow-paced football. Why, in the name of God, he went back to this awful style for Premier League games? I don't know. Yeah, I think he's trying to be safe, and you know what you can't do is be safe in sport, because you know what the other team isn't doing? They're not being safe, right? You can't. You know what? You got to take advantage. You got to take a risk. We don't do that at all. We take it risk on defense. On attack, we don't. Our passes on the attack are clean and nice, and they never threaten them as much as they should. They need to threaten more. And I'd rather drop 10% of our passing accuracy for passes that might, if they make it, put a player on target and he puts it home, than make it easy, and we never get that chance. That's kind of what I see. I've been saying this since the first game our tetherball was introduced and our troubles scoring started. It's all about style. Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? You need players like Saka to be able to overcome those constraints. All right, and that's why he's able to do what he does. Because they bring 2, 3, 4 players at him, he still gets the job done. Nobody else can do that. So I don't know. Martin has shown he's very dangerous through the middle. On the wing, he's got his head in the dirt. Yeah. Well, unless he's got space in front of him and you get a nice ball to him, he doesn't have time to think. The game highlighted how our right side operates when White is playing. Saka on the inside closer to Erdogan and the goal. Timber comes on, and it's the opposite. Saka as far as possible from goal. I guess so.
You can forget that because White's never held up as this wing back, whatever you want to call it. Ever used to say inverted fullback. He plays as a wing back. He's on the wing in the attack. He's to the right of Saka, higher up the pitch than Saka. That makes him a wing back. And his body doesn't hold up to it. You seen what he had to do when he kicked it into another gear. His hamstring cramped up, brain, whatever.
You know what? One thing I'll say about that not necessarily. I think that's because he had to play so many games. I think we said this when he had to play back to back. When he had to play on a short week, right? He had to play on like 3 days rest. He's not ready for that yet. Not with the injury that he had. I think I say we need to rotate, and this is the reason why. All right, people go, you can't rotate because that kills the flow. Well, guess what? When a player gets injured, it kills the flow. Well, I'd rather have players available to us more than not. And if we can't keep them available because they're injured all the time, then something else needs to happen. The only way I see that happen is if we rotate the players. Like they can't just play willy-nilly, because we've seen it doesn't work in this style of football.
At this point, he's been injured for about 2 years. And
he's been injured, but he's been playing. He was playing with those injuries, right? So when they finally do the operation to fix it, what do? They go back and play him right away, like he was playing on a bum leg, and it's not going to matter now. Of course, it's going to matter now.
I remember when we were having this talk. I'm like, you can't be playing him already all these minutes because his body's not a hold up to it. Well, that's why I don't think he can play as out of the fullback, whatever people want to call it.
Yep. All right. Juju 104.52. Thank you for joining us. He says Martinelli's still eating off that lucky goal against Chelsea when Conte slipped. Yeah. They bring it up all the time, and you know what? I mean, he scored goals this year for us, so I don't know if he's living off that lucky goal anymore. Yeah. I mean, it isn't like he hasn't scored in pretty much every game he's played at in the Champions League, so there is that. All right. Everybody says, guess what? When you play in the Champions League, that's when we know whether you're a good player or not, right? They say that. He's doing that, and now it's a bad thing because all he does is score in the Champions League. Make up your mind. Which one is it, folks?
But I think that's not the truth, because Champions League, it's open play. The teams don't set up with a back five, minus like Atletico Madrid or some team like that that's super defensively minded. But it's open play. So the scorers, the attackers, they're going to get more chances. They're going to take more chances. So that means the ball's probably going to go in. And not to mention, you're playing lower competition. That's playing open
Atletico
football.
Madrid and Bayern Munich are not lower level.
No, I'm talking about who we
No,
played
but
last
like
week.
you don't always play the top teams. Not even in a group stage, you don't play all the top teams. You play you play two
know
games
that.
against a poor level team, if you want a lower level team, if you want to call it that, right? So I don't think that I don't believe that. I think you get at least 2 games against a team who's considered probably one, 4 or 6 and done, right? When you played in the group stages, right? We don't have that anymore. But so we get 2 games against teams in what, the pod 4, 2 in pod 3, 2 in pod 2, and 2 in pod 1, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're playing equally talented teams based on how they get seeded, right? So I don't think that's the case. I think it's evenly based. It's just you don't play the same team twice, which is in itself a risk because you can't fix it for the next game because you never get that chance until you get to the knockout round. So I hear what you're saying, but I don't believe that's the case. That it's different now. You play same level of a opponent, and guess what? Everybody that's in the Champions League know that's a good chance for them to go on a crazy run. They never know how things are gonna play out. So let me go through this next one because this is kind of starts us on, I guess, getting into the specifics on the players. Arsenal Misfit says Ughhhhh was a waste of money and talent playing this style. He thrives on the ball being moved quickly up the pitch. Isak would have been even worse. Waste of money and talent for the same reason. All right, Spence, I'll let you go on this one. You think Ughhhhh is a waste of money, and also do you think our style of play is wasting his talent?
Disagree and disagree. I have nothing further more to say on that. They already brought it up earlier. I've got nothing to say to that.
So our style of football, you don't think is hurting him?
No.
You think he's so what is the problem then with Ughhhhh? Because I think there's
reps.
It's kind of 2 or 3.
Is there a problem? Okay, so is there a problem? How many goals did you expect him to have at this point?
I thought he would have a lot of chances. I don't think he's getting enough chances for me to. So I think that's one thing. I think he's not getting enough opportunities to score. I think he needs to be better holding up the ball. And I think when players see that he can't hold up the ball, then when he's making runs, they're not even looking for him. They're not even looking for him. So I just said it's everybody.
Oh no, I agree.
Everybody.
You're not going to just score goals. Holland just doesn't score goals because he exists. He has players that feed him the ball too. Yeah, he makes runs.
So no, this is not I don't believe it's just a Ughhhhh thing, but there are things that he needs to do better.
Yes,
right.
I agree, but I don't think he needs to make
those runs. He needs to make those runs when Saka has the ball, because more than likely the ball will come. Right, he has to know this. I've known this since Saka's got the ball. When he has the ball, remember when we would have Kai Havertz there, and Saka would get the ball, and then Saka would turn, beat his man, and look, there'd be nobody to pass to, and we complained and said, "Why are you not there, Moreno? Why are you not there?" Right. We got a player that's supposed to be there. He needs to keep making that run. Keep making that run.
I agree with that.
Ball will get there and then if he's gonna get pissed off at Timber for taking his ball, he should be getting pissed off that Saka didn't make that cross. On the left side, it might be a little bit different. On the right side, if he's making that run, he has to be able to say to Saka, "I'm making the run. Get me the ball." And Saka, on the last game, will say, "I got you the ball. Where were you?" Right? It goes both ways, right? And that's the kind of the communication that needs to happen. I don't think it's happening because we keep saying the same thing. We keep seeing Saka make that turn and nobody's there. Nobody's making the run, right? We keep seeing Ughhhhh make the run and nobody's even thinking that he's going to make the run. They should be looking for that long time ago, right?
I just don't think he's been a waste. I just, I still think we're still early. I mean, it's not even like, well, there's mid-December. But I would just the expectation of goal a game. Okay, I guess like it's the same thing with Wirtz and Liverpool. Everybody's expecting him to just.
He's not that bad.
But that's my point being.
But he's not that bad. That's the thing. That's the part that we want to compare him to players.
He's been better than Sesko.
He's been better than most of these big time money makers, right?
That's the point. I think people just have to have something to talk about. And Yorkeres is something that gives them a chance to complain about something because they hurt. And this is the thing here, too. With Yorkeres, the story's still not written. Would I like a little bit more? Absolutely. You're still first in the league. You're still first in the Champions League. I guess we have to complain about something. So I get it. People are going to disagree with me on it, and that's fine. I would like more from Yorkeres, but I don't think it's been an utter failure.
Yeah.
I don't. I think it needs? I think it needs more repetitions. It needs more Eze and Odegaard feeding him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I still think the proper way to do this is have Rice sit as a 6 and have Odegaard and Eze play as these 8/10s and then just feed the ball to the front line. Have Rice, Gabriel, and Saliba just sit there and be like, all right, come on, and if you want to take us on, good luck. That's where that team would be strong. And you got Timber on one side, Calafiore on the other. He can bomb up the pitch if he wants. But that's where they need to really – that's where I think the answer is. Odegaard and Eze feeding that ball to Yorkeres. Go ahead, Tony. Sorry.
And that's the main problem is Odegaard not in a position where he needs to be on the pitch. He needs to be up front, leading the attack. That's how he got the 15 goals. He's not scoring back there. But to answer a question, Bucharest is fine. It's a style of play. It's a slow, methodical football. And nobody is getting him the ball. First half, 5 touches. The 5 touches, least of any person on the pitch. So the 21 other players on the pitch had the ball more than he did. So that's telling you your offense, your midfield isn't doing their job because he's making the runs.
See, this is the thing. I want to double up, Tony. You brought up a good point, very good point there about not getting the runs, not getting the passes and the opportunity. Because we can't even gig Yorkeres for missing shots because he's not getting an opportunity to even take them. So that's on the players feeding the ball to him too. Now, you did bring up a good point earlier, Gary, about Saka's pass. Should have been on that one. That's on him. Absolutely 100%. But again, if Yorkeres should have at least 4 or 5 good opportunities a game. And if he's worth his weight in salt, he should be able to put at least one of them away. But I don't even think he's getting 4 or 5 opportunities, maybe getting 1. Yeah. So, this again, I still think Yorkeres is going to be the striker even when Havertz comes back. I know people think Havertz is going to start or Moreno's. No. I still think Yorkeres is going to be your main guy. There will be games where Havertz does play and start. But overall, Yorkeres is the guy. It's the one that Arteta said, I need a striker. You went and got one. Now, talk to your players about utilizing him.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. Yeah, I don't think Yorkeres is a waste. I do think he needs time. I think some of that's got to come from the manager. The manager's got to they should be looking at tape going like the reason why we got Yorkeres is because what? Because we've seen what happens when we have Trossard in the false 9. We've seen what we have when we have Kai Havertz in the 9, and it doesn't work. So all these people are still saying, I can't wait for Kai Havertz to come back. We've seen that already. We've seen it healthy. It didn't work. It didn't work then. So why is it going to work now? We have better players, yes. And guess what? It might work better now because we got some better players, right? But the problem why we needed a different type of 9 is because whenever Moreno does, when that doesn't work, we need a 9, right? Whenever Kai Havertz is doing and it doesn't work because we already seen it, we need a 9, right? A true 9 and a striker. We have one now. The problem is Arteta is still treating them like we have the same players we had before, and that's where he's gone wrong.
What about the revisionist history, though? What about the revisionist history of people about Jesus? I've heard people say Jesus is a better striker than Yorkeres. And Jesus, don't get me wrong, I think Jesus is a good player. I think Havertz is a good player. I think Moreno is a good player. These are all players that, if you need to get something done, they can probably get it done for you, but not for 36 games, not for 38, and not for the regularity that you need done.
Yeah.
But people have literally forgotten. And Jesus, 100%. You know what? That last run, and I know I'm jumping ahead, Gary, and maybe I'm wrong for this. Stop me if you want to. But that last run in the extra time, the ball gets thrown to him. You've got Trossard. Trossard, all he has to do is potentially find a way to flip the ball to Trossard. What does he do? Kicks it softly to the keeper after a long run. That's Gabriel Jesus in a bottle. And these are the people that are telling me Jesus is a better striker than.
No, that's the thing. They're not
think
better
we're-
strikers. They're better false nines. The problem is
Yes.
everybody keeps
Yes.
saying striker. It's not the same role.
Yes,
They have
false
different
nine.
roles, and that's why it looks different. We are
That's 100%
playing with a much better player with a different role, and we're not playing him to that role, and then we're saying it doesn't work.
I
Guess
still
what?
think
Guess what
David-
I said when this season started? When we saw Ughhhhh playing, I said, guess what? He is out there trying to do everything those other players can do, except for the things he's really good at. Once he gets down to things that Arteta wants, tracking back, all this support that he's going to do, the hold up play's got to be better. I know that, but you have to actually. He's going to give you work. You need to give him something too, and I don't think we give him enough. When he got injured in that first half of the Burnley game, yes, it's Burnley. He was playing well, right?
Yes.
He finally looked like he had started clicking, getting to understand a little bit about the Premier League football and how he needs to fit in there, right? Because we brought him in for those types of games, right?
Yep.
Brought him in for those games against the lower level teams that we struggled against because we didn't have a striker. We needed one, right? In these big games where we're playing with these other teams, he might not work, right? Because he needs to be better at the hold-up play that Kai Havertz gives us, right? Kai Havertz has scored in some of the big games for us, right? But in those other games, like the games that we were drawing, we drew 14 times last year, right? I don't think we draw if we continue to play Ughhhhh in those games. And maybe people are going to go, well, he scored all his goals against the lower edge team. You know why? Because of the style of football we play.
Well, they're going to argue. Well,
I think it's more because of that than not. But I don't care. I just because the whole trick was why did we suffer last year? Is because when we had those 14 draws, we needed a player that could put the ball away, and we have one now, and we need to get the ball to him. When we get the ball to him, in different type of situations, he'll get the job done. We've seen it. I mean, I've seen you go back to that. I always go back to it because it's the only thing we got right now. The Newcastle game. You saw how Ughhhhh played in that game, right? How Eze played in that game. We've not been able to repeat that since, right?
And this is going to be something that we're going to have to figure out because our next 5 or 6 fixtures are the same fixtures in the same.
The next 7 games, we only got points in one of them, I believe. Or we got one win in them or something ridiculous like that. Yeah.
I think it was 3 draws, 3 losses, and 1 win.
Yeah.
So that's where we're gonna find out.
Yeah, and that's why we have Ughhhh is coming into his own. I think Ughhhhh is our starting center forward, 9 striker, whatever you say.
That injury
he should only come out. He should only come out when he's hitting the red. All right. His form's dipping, whatever. Maybe he doesn't go the full 90. Maybe he goes for 60. They let him recover. Maybe they start Moreno because that's all we got. Maybe they start Jesus because that's all we got. But in reality, that is our player. You just don't want to overwork him just yet because we've seen how that plays out. So, like I said, I think that's the problem. Like false 9s get more distributed goals where the number 9 is the target man. Yeah, I think that, and that's what we have now. We have a player who should be a target man, but is asked to do so much more. He has to do a little bit extra in certain cases, but I think the team he is one man. We're talking about at least.
Need to do it though, Gary?
No. Think about what I'm saying.
It.
He needs to make sure he's there, right? He needs to make sure that he's making the runs, right? No. He needs to make sure he's making the runs. He needs to make sure he's there, right? His teammates, which are up to 4 to 5 players, need to make sure he gets the ball. if Erdegaard and Eze are on the pitch, whichever one or both of them, if they are not looking for him, then that's a problem. That's a problem on them, right? And we've seen many a video. They show many a video where Gyökeres is making a run to the right, cuts back to the left, and Erdegaard doesn't want to make the pass. And like they showed you a different angle, and you can see it was really tight. It looked really big in the one when they pulled it in. But for me, it looked really big because guess what? If you pass the ball into him as he's cut in front of the defender, he more than likely beats his man. And we've seen he can hold up with a guy who's moving. Right? We've seen him do that. We saw them do that in the Wolves game. Gets the ball with a guy on his back, turns, and is able to shoot. He goes a little wide. Right? So he can do it. I think. I don't think it's a waste of money. I think we just have to make it. He has to do a little bit better, and I think every player has to do a little bit better in that regard as well.
And Arteta said that the way we play, we can't play with slow, methodical football. And one thing with him on the runs, I know before the injury, he had the most runs in the final third.
Yeah.
Again, that's with teammates not helping him out.
Yeah, I think he sometimes gets discouraged like team players do, and then they start making the run, and people go, "Why is he not doing that anymore?" It's because he's doing it, and they're not even passing it to him. And some of that's going to be he's going to have to communicate what he wants what he wants, and they're going to have to communicate why they're not passing it. I think that's a question. That's a discussion. That's a discussion that should be had. Like why is Ughhhhh not getting shots off, right? And the Ughhhhh is like, and then the other players have to say, "Why are you not there?" And he's going to probably tell them, I think. So dancing in December, crying in May, that is Arsenal way. We'll see. I think this is a little bit different than what we've seen before. I think, there are reasons why we're struggling a little bit here, right? But I think it's a much better team than we've had in the last 4 or 5 years of Arteta. So yay and no to that. I mean, I think we started strong. We're going to have a blip. We're having our blip right now. We'll see if we come out of it by January, if everybody comes back healthy in January, if we even bring somebody in January, right? So I don't think it's the same, but you know what? Every season is different. We haven't lost the same way each time. They've all been different. Let's see. Oh, next up. So let's get into it. So we talked about Gyökeres. Let's talk about left wing, right? So I agree, Martinelli. He's an inside winger and an outside winger. Another waste of talent. Yeah, he's not going to be able to play inside as much if you got Gyökeres there, especially if you're crowding the spot. Yeah, and if you're going to come inside, then you need to get there when he needs to get there because he also wasn't there for Saka's pass, right? That cross.
The way he's on the inside is the Calipari on the outside when he's pushing up.
No, but the cross from Saka, he was there inside the box. He actually got to the ball.
He was in the right positions 3 or 4 times in that game. Just made the wrong foul there.
Yeah. So all right. So for me, Martinelli, I don't believe he's their starter. Anyways, he has to start because Trossard just is coming back from his injury. Otherwise, I think Trossard would start. Who I wanted to sell both of them. I'm happy. I'll say it again. If we're gonna we can do better than them, all right? Trossard has done really well, and he always has, and that's why some people want to keep him, no matter who we sell on the left. But I think we still need to do better. We need to get our quality up on the left side, similar as close as we can to what we have on the right.
That was the biggest mistake of the summer, not signing a left winger. Maybe we'll do it in the winter.
Yeah, I think some people are saying Semenyo, and then some people are saying Semenyo will probably give you the same issues you have with Eze. They just don't play the same way. So we need. The thing is, we need a left wing. I don't know. That's similar to Saka, I guess, because that's the way we play. All right, we need, I guess, high football intelligence and ability to switch with both feet and all that kind of stuff, right? I don't know who that is. If we're going to play the same way. Martinelli,
there's not too many of them in the world, Gary. So
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So then that's on Arteta to figure out how to play with a different style player. I mean, if you're saying there's few players that can do what we ask, then why does a coach ask them to do things that not too many players in the world can do? right? Because then he's just basically he's handcuffing them. Let me go through the rest of these messages and we'll continue on. Martinelli scores in the Champions League because he plays on the inside. We're not playing Arteta ball in Champions League. Yeah, that could be it. That could be it. I think we talked about that. Oh, well, okay. We can talk about Martinelli and Eza, I guess, because that also plays out. As there's a play I'm disappointed with. Bar 2 or 3 games, I've expected more from him and not got it. I'll let you guys start off, Tony. As a, you can talk about Martinelli. Well, I think you did already, but I'll let Spencer talk about both of them once you're done.
I think Ezra's the same thing. He's not put in the position to help the team as much as he should. I agree with what Spencer said earlier. You push up Coyg as a playing as 8/10s. You have Rice back there. You got your back forward. Doesn't matter what four's back there. They can do the job, but you need the creators creating. And those could be the guys that can spot Bucharest and making a run. They can spot when Martinelli is able to cross in and cut in and finding. Or they can push up when Saka's ready to cross and nobody's there. They can be there. They can run forward because you got the defense to do that. But I just don't think we've seen enough of him yet. He was struggling with fitness to start the season for whatever reason. Not sure what it is. But that's what he was saying, that he needed more time to get his physicality up. Or that's based on what Arsenal does in training, because he looked like he should have been game fit. But I just don't think he's been put in the right positions yet.
Well, he has been. I just don't think it's been enough, right? I mean, we
Yeah.
see him. Like I believe he played there in the Newcastle game, and we saw. I think I always bring it up because that's one of the best he's played, and I think he was playing well up until Erdogan started to get healthy, when he was able to play
Yep.
as a 10, right?
Yep.
Late in that game, Erdogan comes on late. Eze's still there, right? And I
Yep.
think we're able to play with basically two creative players, and we saw how the game opened up for us, right? It's kind of how I looked at. That's how I felt it worked out, right? Because we just outside of Moreno, everything was like for like. I guess you take off Zubimendi, you put in Erdogan, which then gives us that two-headed monster that we talk about in the midfield with both Eze and Erdogan there. I always go back to that game, and I had to look at it to see why, but that's how that played out. And we always talk about it'd be nice to see them play together. Well, we did see it for about 10 minutes, and we got back into a game where we're down 1-0 with less than 10 minutes to go. So it does work. It has worked, and I believe Newcastle's defense is pretty solid, one of the better in the league. They have definitely a strong midfield, and we were able to get 2 goals on them late in the game. So
Sure.
that's have your say a little bit about. We talked about Martinelli and Eze. I think you can talk about one, both, or if you want to move on. But those are the two up for debate now.
Eze is the same thing for me. I feel like Gorka. It's still too early to say. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to have a good career at Arsenal. He's shown flashes. I mean, he scored a hat trick in the Spurs game. He scored your game winner in Crystal Palace. I mean, he's had some moments where I want to see more. There's moments in the games where I feel he's a passenger, and there's other times where I feel he's a real critical part. I do think he struggles in these big games that we have, like where you're trying to break these teams down. Like Saturday, I think he was that good, but I'm just not really worried about it at this point. And here's why. And again, this is my out. Whatever. You're still first in the league. You're still first in Champions League. we're still winning. And ultimately, that's the only goal I have this year. And if Ughhhhh scores 4 goals and we win the league, I'll be happy as can be. But again, like that's my main goal. And I think the reality here is it's like Jesus, right? It was an own goal on Saturday. Saka's delivery, whatever. But he's still making that run and still in receive it. So there's my point being is there's players that are going to be part of your story to fulfill this dream of winning the trophy or whatever, achieving greatness, achieving success or whatever. Like there's different players that are going to write the story. Madueke, Miles Lewis, all these, they're all going to have an integral part. I mean, Nogard, playing center back for us. Didn't see that coming. Didn't have that on the bingo card. It worked out well. But my point being is I'd like to see a little more from Eze. But again, I said how I'd like to see it played. I don't think he's a complete failure at the left wing. I know you're not a fan of it. I think it can work. But ultimately, if you're going to play with a false 9, I think you still have to be looking potentially in the transfer window in January to see what you could potentially bring in. Trossard's an answer. Martinelli's going to be hit or miss. We've seen that. We know that. We know the story. See what you can go get in January because, again, the talent's on this team. We talked about Ughhhhh and how I think he's not getting enough service. Me and Tony are dead set on that. The Eze thing is one of these ones where he's bailed you out in a couple games, and then also other games where I've been kind of just like, where are you? And expect more. I don't know. The football culture of the big dollar signing, what the expectation is, and hit the ground running, Premier League running, ready, or I don't know. It's a weird dynamic. But
all these guys cost so much money now.
Yeah, I mean, again, when you pay $90 million for someone, yeah, I would expect you to turn on. It's like buying a $90 million car. You're like, oh, okay, you're not going to pay $90 million for a car, but you guys understand the principle of if I buy a $90,000 vehicle at whatever dealership, I want it to work. It's going to start 7 days a week. I'll put the key in the ignition. Everything's going to work. The same expectation as with players, but I don't think it's reality. If we were sitting here in third place right now, 6 points back, I'd be a lot more critical of players. But I think Ughhhhh is going to work out. I think Eze is going to work out. I think Zubamendi's been a good signing.
Yep.
Yep. I know there was a comment earlier, and I wanted to bring back on it because talking about how Saka plays with White out there. Well, Timber was out there, right? He had to move to the right side once White got injured. And Saka was able to distribute on 2 goals. Obviously, one was a corner kick. But, I mean, you said you need more from Saka. And this is where
I said I need more from Saka?
You said you've needed more from Saka in the past.
In the past, yeah, but not of late.
Well, I want to rehash this.
You can bring up history, but this season, I don't know if you've heard me ever say, I think I need more from Saka.
I need more.
You have said it this season, Gary.
This season I have? Okay, not of late, though. Not of the last.
You need more from Saka. I need more from Saka. If you're a world-class player, put this team on your back.
I expect him to score. I do expect him to score. He's not scoring.
He's
not even shooting, really.
He was really good on Saturday. Of all the players I can talk about, I thought Nkafe was pretty decent. Definitely felt like Saka's service was excellent in that game.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where if he's world class, he probably scores in that game, right? Because he probably goes, you know what? Nothing's happening right now. We're struggling. Somebody needs to step up, right? That's what happens with the world class players. Yeah. At some point, he has the ball at his feet most of the time. He can make all the decisions. What does he want to do? If he lays it off, like Saka should have been screaming at Ughhhhh when he puts that ball through, going, why are you not there? Why are you not there? Right? You're trying to scream at Timber about taking the ball off of his head, essentially. Sack has got to be screaming, and that's the leadership that we lack sometimes. Is like somebody's got to be saying, "You missed a great opportunity there."
But I think what you were to say, Gary, is at some point Saka just needs to take that ball, cut to the inside, and shoot it.
That's
And
what
get the
I
goal.
said that in this game. I said it. But did he play bad? No. But does he need to
No,
like
he
step
played
up?
great, but
He
it's
needs to,
just
like I said, at
all
some point,
crosses.
anybody in that pitch needs to do it. We see Rice do it in everything but shooting, right? And that's not his job, right? He'll do everything. He'll take the ball off the line. He'll intercept balls. He'll take down a play when they act wrong, when they do something wrong, right? We've seen him do it. There's at least 2 opportunities where he's done. He did it to Fofana, and then he did it in a couple games ago where somebody put a leg on Saka, I think, and then the next thing you know, he's getting a yellow in the middle of the pitch, right? So Rice does everything but shoot. Somebody else needs to pick up the shooting part, right?
I almost feel like Madueke should have started this game vice Martinelli based on how good of a game he had in the midweek.
Somebody actually brought that up here as a scenario that we probably should have. Oh, here it is.
Someone said Madueke to the right,
yeah,
Saka to the left.
Yeah,
you could probably get away with that, but it's again, this is one where I'm like, this comes down to finishing your dinner too, right?
Yeah.
Go back.
We're seeing Madueke scoring. He had a brace. You talked about the midweek game. He gave you what you wanted. Did he get rewarded for it? No.
Okay, well, that's another discussion. But they rotated though, Gary. Hold on, I'm just joking. No, listen.
Why you want to fight with me, man?
I'm not fighting with you. We would never do that. Never.
Spencer never does that.
I would never do that. No, my point being is I've lost my train of thought now.
Sorry.
Now that this where's the bingo card? Where's the bingo cards when you need them?
You said finisher, right?
Yeah, no, my point being is Martinelli had 3 opportunities on and this again, this is not, we talk about Arteta and how he sets them up, but they also have to finish their dinner.
Yep.
And that's the other thing that, and you see Arteta's reactions when they miss them. I mean, the Martinelli headers by far, like, just walk back a little bit, son, and let it hit off your chest, and then at least put it on target.
That's why I understand.
That's why I think it's like Arteta thing. I don't think he was. I think he put it right where he wanted to. I don't think he was thinking about scoring. I think he was thinking about putting a cross goal and letting somebody tap it in. He didn't know he was the only one over there. He didn't know his surroundings. If you look at the play in slow motion, you see he's left alone. They didn't even they went for the ball, missed, and he's sitting there with all he had to do, put it on the ground. It probably goes between the goalkeeper's legs, and he
could have fallen out of water. He could have fallen out of a boat and missed the water on Saturday. I mean that's
where football IQ comes in, and he just doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Well, again, like this is a player who, the football IQ I think is there, especially defensively, but offensively at times there's like and if it's a lack of confidence, you ever watch, like, I'll go to a football reference, an NFL reference, when the game slows down for a quarterback. I think, to me, like, he's still running on a processor that's like full speed ahead, when sometimes it's just like, dial it back for a second, son. You got this. I mean, the guys scored 50 some goals for Arsenal. It's crazy. It's what,
what? That's probably why he's not a starter for us, because he can't do it every game, and in a stretch of games. Like, he's not going to take a single goal and put it into a double goal, take a brace and maybe get and consistently score goals in a stretch of games, because that's just not what he is, and that's fine. That's why we have Trossard. Trossard will deliver in most games. Let me go through this chat real quick. We'll continue on. Yeah, I don't want to look back on this team like the Buffalo Bills for sure. I don't want that either. Yeah, we finished second again. There'll be questions asked for sure. You can't do that 40 seasons in a row. With what we did this season, you can't do that. I don't care about the injuries. As Denzel said, you gotta come home with something. You can't come home empty-handed. I'm sorry. It's too we are too loaded not to be able to get something out of this season for sure. You based your essay comment on his play, not his price. He was awful against Wolves. I just think I think yes, he was awful there, but I also think he wasn't given the same kind of it didn't that game probably wasn't for him the way we played. That's all. I mean, I think that we asked him to do things the things that he did at Crystal Palace, he doesn't get to do that with us as much. So once again, we get a player that doesn't fit what Arteta wants, but Arteta doesn't want to use him in a better situation either.
You can't play him as an 8 because he's not an 8.
You play him as a 10, I think you get better from him.
That's why he puts him at the left wing sometimes.
Yeah, but he doesn't play well there because then it's like a vulnerability we saw.
I still think he needs more reps there, but you are right though. The defensive liability was there. We saw it in the Villa game.
Yeah,
but Saturday was probably one of those games. And again, if you start Eze on the left wing, and if you start Odegaard, or even in Weary, whatever, however you want to do this, and you just finish your business early.
Yeah, you just brought up the name, and Weary also should be part of this discussion because I think he gives something different as well. I think Weary late in games will give us that kind of like you get that when you get that run from Martinelli because the game's late, right? Mm-hmm. I think Weary late in games because he's shown it when he first started getting games for us. Come in late in games and you're looking for a goal, he'll get that shot off.
Well, here's the other thing.
Get that shot off. And that's what we need. We need somebody who doesn't need much time to get that ball. The ball is at his feet, boom, it's gone. And we need
There's another thing that needs to be brought up, and this one's on Arteta. This one's absolutely on Arteta. I'm going to blame him for this. Score the goal. You stay a little attacking for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, 84th minute, you're like, you just shut it down.
We can't play that way ever. Never. It doesn't work. That's
you
how we
only
drew
play
games
that
last
way.
year. We did that all last year.
I agree. And again, here's the story that gets written from this. They score the goal, and what's the story? Well, when Arsenal play the 20th place team in the league in these title runs, they've dropped points. They did it against Southampton. I'm trying to remember the other year that it was somebody in that relegation zone.
We lost a 3-game stretch, and I believe we lost to Brentford. We drew. We didn't lose. We drew 3 games. We needed to win one of those 3.
Is that the one they forgot to draw the lines for?
Yeah, there was. I think that was early in the season. I think it was late in the season when they had a header from their center back on a cross late in the game to get the draw. We drew 3 games in the end of the season, and that pretty much knocked us out of, I think, top 4, if I recall. Then we had a chance to beat that team, and we didn't. And that basically sealed it for us. But we had a 3-game stretch where you win one of those, it doesn't matter what you do in the North London Derby. But we couldn't win all 3 of them. All of them looked the same. All of them against teams lower than us in the table. We struggled, right? So,
we 2 times during, like, the final 15 games, and we had a 75% chance of finishing 4th, and just blew it.
Yep. All right, so let me go.
So my point being is we're not sitting here today discussing about another, relegation forum team taking points off of Arsenal. That's the good news.
Yep.
I mean, we're all happy about the 3 points. We're just not happy.
Think about look at the points that we dropped this season. We lost to Liverpool when everybody thought they were good. They're not good now, but when we played them, they were good, right? We drew to Chelsea. Everybody said that was probably that going into the game. Everybody said if you get a draw, you'll be all right. We got a draw. Everybody's upset because we should have got the win. All right, got it. Right. You drew to Sunderland. Sunderland, was top 3 at the point, so they were on a roll. They were playing them at their peak, probably. Right.
But that's another opportunity. That's the same thing, Gary.
Yeah, and then we played Villa. So we played all these teams playing on a roll. Like none of them were like struggling coming in, except for Wolves. And we didn't lose that one, so we didn't drop points. So tomorrow when we get ready for Everton, right? When my mind starts to go Everton or whatever,
Yeah.
we'll probably do that before the end of this show, anyways. But when we talk about Everton, that 2-1 win, nobody's going to care how it happened.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to look back at this season and go, "Oh my God, you won the league." Luckily for that Wolves game, right? Nobody's going to care
But
that
if
we
it
got
doesn't,
we got an extra 2 points from the Wolves match, right? We're not
right
going to go,
now,
"That's how you got it." It's because of that game.
so at this point, if all things considered, let's just go with a stupid hypothetical here. Arsenal win all their games
Mm.
except the City game, and City wins all their games. The one you're going to look back on is that Chelsea 10-man game, in my opinion.
Yeah. Or are you going to look back at the no, I guess yeah, right. Yep.
That
Yep.
Chelsea one will be the one.
I
'cause
mean,
you
for
got
me,
the
I'm going to
advantage.
look at both the Liverpool and City games early in the season when we should have been able to catch them early.
I mean,
and
my
get
thought
wins.
process right now, and my prediction is that we're gonna draw City at their place too.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna happen.
I think if we're healthy going into that game, it's going to be a really good game. I like our
Yes.
defense against theirs any day.
I agree with that. And again, City's getting hot. I texted the group earlier, on Sunday, and I still think Crystal Palace is a tough place to play. And that's another game. You look, I know City turned them over 3-0, but if you look early in that game, Palace had plenty of opportunities to put the ball in the back of net, didn't do it.
Yep.
And so again, what I want to see, and then the Everton game on Saturday is us being clinical, and I don't care where it comes from. I would prefer it be from Gyökeres, but if Saka scores 2 or 3 goals and puts it away, so be it.
Yep.
But this again, this is going to be an interesting stretch right here coming up. And I know you probably aren't ready to pivot, but
yeah. Let me finish. Let me go through the chat, and then we'll move on because it is we're in the end game now in terms of the show.
We're in the 7th inning stretch.
Yeah, here we go. All of that.
That's
So we'll go through the chat. We'll go through the chat because there's some comments here I want to comment on. We've got Rosie in the house. Say hello, Rosie. Thanks for joining us. Everybody's checking in. She's heading to bed. Have a good night's rest, Rosie. But this comment here from BX Gunner. My only issue with Saka is better decision making in the final third. He's too wasteful, in my opinion. No. I don't believe he's wasteful in the final third. I think the problem a lot of times is he's looking to pass when he should sometimes be looking to shoot. But he doesn't make mistakes. He's not wasteful. He's not wasteful in that sense. Like he's not giving the ball up, right? He might be, if you're thinking wasteful because he doesn't take the shot, I got it. But more than likely,
putting it on target or passing it. What I want to see in the next maturation, if he's a world-class player, and where I agree with BX on this slightly.
No, if he's saying he doesn't score when he gets into the box, that's the only way he's wasteful if he doesn't score.
I need to see moments like Saturday, right? Games on, I need you to go take and get that goal. It doesn't have to be a solo effort, but make that run, make a decision, talk to Timber, talk to someone. You go, like, whatever. I need to see that level of, instinct. Because, again, regardless of managers' tactics, any of these great players that have been in the league that we've seen in the last 5 to 6 years, like the Harry Kanes and the Mo Salahs and all that, they make those runs. They take the game by the neck. I'll tell you a player that I think they're regretting getting rid of, the Liverpool, is regretting getting rid of Luis Diaz. 100% regretting getting rid of him.
Every player they let go, they're regretting because they have not, because they're missing them in certain games. Like they didn't like I don't think there's been one player that they could go, we're not missing whoever we bought him in for.
Agreed. Ughhhhh should be their striker. That's period. I'll die on that hill.
No, he should be. And but the fact that they didn't use him is what's killing it. What's killing it for them is because they spent so much money on everybody else. We gotta play him. Well, no, you played it. You played the better player.
Yeah.
Until he's not that good. He hasn't shown that he's not that good. He's shown that he gets pissed off, and he shows that he's still young and immature. But other than that, I think his game has been good.
So my thing is this: I want to see Saka take some of these games by the scruff of the neck. And Saturday he technically did. Mm-hmm. If you want to break it down, Saka, the corner kick, own goal, I don't care. the cross. God bless him for finding that Wolves player's head. Like
You know what? You know what? That's like anything else, right? You
Take
got to
what they
get
give
that.
you.
You got to put one. You got to put that ball into the box, anyways.
Yes.
Worst thing that can happen is maybe it doesn't hit your guy, but it hits theirs.
Case in point, Martinelli. One of Martinelli's, you could say, massive bright moments for Arsenal. 1-0 win over Manchester City. What does he do? Hits the ball off of Nathan Ake.
Yep.
And that was a Tomiyasu to Kai Havertz to Martinelli. Boom. So again, they take the opportunities, put the ball on the ground, let it bounce off of somebody, send a keeper the wrong way. You got to get creative. So that the players that are at the 18 box, the Ezes, the Odegaards, the Rice, even the Zubamendi at time, take that crazy shot. Maybe it bounces off of somebody. Maybe you get lucky. Maybe you get a handball and turns into a penalty. That's instead of a lot of times where Odegaard gets the ball and he'll pass it wide to Saka and Saka takes a cross, and it's like, do we have anything else? So yeah, that's what I think. I'm maybe rehashing tactics that I don't like, but either way, case in point, Saka. I want to see him take control of the games more often, like he did on Saturday. And I know Gary, we had this conversation last year, and I was like, yeah, Saka and everybody else needs to pull the weight. But if this guy is world class as we think he is, obviously we're biased, we're Arsenal fans, so we love him. I just want to see a little bit more, man. I have a higher expectation level for you. I think I'm agreeing.
What you're saying, I said that years ago.
Maybe I'm agreeing with you now. I've had this moment. I've had this epiphany. Agree, man.
Because I don't want to go back and I don't always rehash all my takes, but I know I've said at some point he's gonna have to just say, you know what, you guys don't want to do. I'll just show you the way. All right, you see it in sports all the time, right?
Michael Jordan moment.
Michael Jordan says, "I'll give you the ball, you just lay it up. Oh, you missed the layup. I'll get the rebound and I'll dunk it home. All that kind of stuff. I'll show you how it's done. But I'm gonna keep giving you chances. But I'm gonna show you when you can't do it, I'll be right there." And that's what we need from him sometimes. He was doing that last season, if you remember, right? We're playing Liverpool. Oh, it's going to be a tough one. What does he do? Score, right? And then he gets injured, and that kind of slows things down. But he was at the start of that season looking like a player that when we needed a goal, he got us the goal. It didn't matter who it was. So yeah, let me continue here. As soon as Timber came on, Saka move outside, and Timber plays inside close to Odegaard. That's how we wound up stealing the ball from that's how he wound up stealing the ball from York, whereas Timber made just one overlap. Yeah, right. But you know what? The fact that it's happened twice now, and both times it would have given us a lead.
At least a shot on target, bare minimum from Yorkeres, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Chelsea one for sure. That's a shot on target.
Yeah.
He could have screwed. He could have the Timber one. He's a little bit further away, but he probably at least could have been the man.
That's a problem. It would only be a problem because he might have only gotten 2 or 3 chances, and we want him to get closer to 5.
Yes.
Right. So that's the problem. Like he gets 1 or 2 chances, and then we complain that he doesn't put it away, and then people then they bring in Harlan and say, why does it look different? They showed, I think the stat was, I think he's gotten like 5 opportunities or whatever it is, and Harlan's gotten like 15. So the difference is it's just not even close.
And the body styles are pretty much similar too. The same build, the same, flat track bully, as they like to say. You got to get the man some service. I think if we were sitting here and Yorkeres was, I don't know, 4 or 5 shots a game and missing it, kicking it straight to the keeper, there'd be a legitimate complaint. But I'm looking at Odegaard. I'm looking at Eze. I'm looking at Rice. I'm looking at Zubamendi. I'm looking at Saka, Martinelli. And I'm going to look at Arteta, too, on this one, too. If Yorkeres is playing, change the tactics a little bit. If you're already having a fullback invert, you should have the numbers you need in the midfield, period. Because now you've already taken your fullback and you've pushed him in the middle of the park. And now you've already got your 6 here. You got your 8 here. You should already have that possession or that tactical overload on that side. That should allow Yorkeres to drift in a little further into the back line and make potentially those runs. So, I feel like they're so afraid to lose the middle of the pitch so much that we're losing the efficiencies that we could be attacking, the opportunities. We're losing those opportunities by trying to maintain possession in the middle of the park, which is still important, but maybe a little bit less.
Yep. Yep. Let me go through the rest of these chat real quick so
Go
we
ahead,
can
go
get
ahead.
on to the Everton
I'll
game.
shut up.
Yeah, no, we don't want to fourth in we can't finish fourth in a row for 4 seasons. That we can't do that. Sorry, can't do it. Southampton game. All right. Got Boy 10 Dio in the house. Thanks for joining us. Your life is on the line in the next game. Which striker are you picking? Gyökeres. Easy. We move on. That's our striker. That's who we should be getting. That's what he should be. Yeah. That's what I don't think it's a question. I think he's here for the reasons why we didn't like Kai Havertz and Moreno. And then so that's what I think. Don't forget that PGML stole that Chelsea game from us. Their goal was offsides. Yeah, well, I'm gonna say we don't. PGMOL has not helped us out for the last many seasons.
And
We still
Saka
need to
was
score goals.
offside on one of our goals.
Yeah, so we need to
Saturday,
score.
so
We need to score our goals and score
balances
opportunities and
out.
not be wasteful in front of goals. So I'll say I can't expect them to help us out. So we got to go do it ourselves. Rosie doing well, going for hernia surgery on Thursday. How things going over there, Stephen? Hope good surgery for you, and I guess whatever pains or what ails you is resolved. So be thinking about you on Thursday. Saka is supposed to be our best player, so expect him to bring others into the game as well. I think Saka is not supposed to be. He is our best player, and he plays like it. He does need some help. If he's going to put the ball in the box, he needs the players to be on the end of it.
But that's where the tempo comes. Those guys aren't running up the pitch.
Like I said, it's not on Saka. It's not on Saka. That's the thing. Saka, I think Saka is doing everything he can, and Rice is doing everything he can to make sure the games go our way. They need other players to. They need to put in that. They need to put in that A+ effort.
But shouldn't they be at more places than just that right side crossing it in? Can he take it to the middle and try to find somebody? I mean, he can dribble past about anybody, so why not do that more?
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
And one thing two things before we move on, Gary. It's hard to win when the 68th minute is your first shot on target.
That's a good point.
Well, you know what, and we can't blame Arteta for that because
Players
as we said, Martinelli had
Martinelli could have had 3 on target in the first half.
So that's on him. And you know what? Maybe it's on Arteta, maybe to some degree that he played him. You know what I mean? It's like you ever hear that thing. You know what? I trusted you. I screwed up. You know what I mean? That's one of those things, right? Did I think you could do it in back-to-back games? And if I think you can't, then why do I keep playing you? That's on Arteta. If he thinks he can do it, then that's on the player. The player's got to show up. As good as he should be laying ball on a platter for Gyökeres.
So what about this?
He is putting the ball for. You know what? I think Saka would put the ball for Gyökeres a lot more if when Saka makes that turn, he sees Gyökeres coming. All right. I think that's going to happen. We need to take more risk, in my opinion. I get the risk part. That's in our passing. Interesting answer, Gary. You think you like my answer? Okay, cool. Even the delivery. Name our current best team. I'll start. I guess I'll do it. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. But our front line, Saka, Gyökeres, and Trossard right now.
Yep.
Our midfield. I would like to see a different midfield than we have, but I'm going to go with this. Okay, it depends. Right now, we're playing a top 6 team. I want to see Eze, Rice, and Zubimendi. If we're playing a team that we should be able to control, I want to see Eze, Erdegaard, and Rice in the midfield.
I like to see the latter midfield all the time.
All right. What about you, Tony? Do you have a thought on the midfield? Do you like either one of them or something totally different?
I prefer your first one.
All right. So yeah, I think our midfield we got players we can move around there, which is nice. I think the only problem the only problem I would see with Erdegaard in that is if we played some of these big teams, will he get beat up?
I'll do one better for you. Give me a back three like Tony Yo's. Give me.
See, now you're just blowing it all up.
I did a little bit because I was going to start Rice, Subamendi, Odegaard, and Eze. There you go. And then if you need to, Rice can slot back in on the center line if you need to have another defender back there.
Yeah.
Or Subamendi, whatever your preference is.
Yeah.
But then the question is, what is your back three, Spencer? Well, that's a good question. And I got a great answer for you. It's Saliba, Gabriel, and probably Timber.
I get that back three, but you know,
I can roll Calafiori.
You know, we're gonna go with four, so
yeah,
it's gonna be Timber for me. Timber and Calafiori out wide, and the big boys in the middle with Ray behind them. That's our back four. I get the back three.
Can't we just stay with the back three? Since
Spencer got you started, right? Yeah, but I think that is our best team. If you told me we're gonna bring in Rodrigo or Semenyo, I don't know who else we could, or I don't know. I think anybody else we bring in would be more of a project player. If Semenyo or Rodrigo came in, I think that would be our left wing.
Yeah.
Right. But I think Eze should have a starting position on this field. If that means Erdegaard doesn't start, then so be it. But that's on Arteta. So
I just Arteta values that tracking back so much and all that stuff. That's why Odegaard's getting a start over him.
Yeah,
I just don't get it. You have this guy that did the 15 goals, 10 plus assists. I believe he could probably do that in most seasons if you give him a chance to. But he's not giving him a chance. It's like offensive players, they have this hamburger on defense, not so much.
I hear that. All right. Yeah. That means with injuries in mind. That's our best team without the injuries. With injuries in mind, I mean, I like I said, I think our back line we can rotate, and I don't think we're losing games as much because our back line rotated. I think we're losing games because our front line rotates, and we lose a lot sometimes. So that's me. It's on the manager to make changes and immediate impacts for sure. Every time I've seen Ughhhhh making runs, he never gets the service. I think a lot of people are seeing that, and I mean it's blatant sometimes. I mean when Erdegaard does not pass him the ball in one game for a 60-minute period, something's not right. Like some people said it. Haaland gets a lot of balls from Erdegaard. And the only player that concerns you on that Norway team in an attack should be Haaland, right? So how does he find him in that type of situation? But for Arsenal, he can't find him. There's a problem.
Is it can or not allowed? Because we've seen.
You're telling me Arteta's telling him not to pass it to his striker? That's what you're trying to tell me?
I think he likes that slow, methodical progression up the
Don't
pitch.
pass the ball to your striker is what you're trying to tell me Arteta's saying.
Yeah, I don't see that at all.
I don't.
Because eventually you're going to be like, manager, this shit ain't working. I'm going to pass to him anyway. Just to prove that you're right. They're too much. These guys are too competitive. They're not robots.
Yeah. No, I like I said, I think something else is going on there, and it may not be Arteta saying don't pass it to him. It might be Arteta telling him make the safe pass. Because if you take that risk, you pass the ball through the middle, we might turn it over, and then we'll be on the counter. But if you take that pass and it gets through, then Ughhhhh could be on his own with just the goalkeeper.
So the one that's been making the rounds that everybody's like, oh, Odegaard could have made a pass, blah, 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 blah. I kind of understand what Odegaard did there. From his thought processes, I passed it a little bit wide and someone crosses it across the box for Ughhhhh to get it in easier.
Who did he pass the ball to?
I can't remember who it was. But
Either it was Trossard or Martinelli, and guess what? Ended with the ball. We got nothing from it.
Well, I'm talking about the one that's making the rounds, not the.
There's one through the middle where Ughhhhh runs to the right. He doesn't get it. He slows down a little bit, cuts in front of the defender, and
And-
goes to the left. And he
Yes,
still
that's the
doesn't
one.
pass it. And then he just kind of waits there. And like you said, the ball goes out wide, and the play is dead. Nothing happens. There's also I don't know if I sent it to you, but there's a play in a Liverpool match where once again Ughhhhh is making a run, and I forget who it is. Let's see if I have the picture here. I forget who it is, but we don't make the pass at all. And the way the play plays out, our player runs straight into Ughhhh's space.
And that's where you get to you'd have to modify your style of play because
Let me see if I can.
Ughhhhh is doing what he's supposed to.
Yeah.
I know he was leading the league in those runs in the final third. I assume he probably still is.
Yeah, I have a picture here. I can share this picture because it's like this is the Liverpool match though. So I will let me see. How do I bring this up here? I forget how to. Oh, here we go. Share my picture. Boom. Oh, here we go. Share a screen. All right, share a screen. And where is it? This one? Yep. All right. So you'll see it here. All right. This is the one in the Liverpool match. I think that's Martinelli. This is Ughhhhh on the outside here. Ughhhhh is ready for a pass. Nice little touch right there in front of Konate. Let Ughhhhh figure out how he's going to beat both Van Dijk and the goalkeeper, right? What does he do? Stops, dribbles right to Ughhhhh. So now Konate takes the ball, closes him down. We lose. We didn't even get a shot off. That play right there is what that was a killer. And you know how we played in that Liverpool match, right? We lost.
Yeah.
And that's an opportunity right there for your striker to. He's got him beat. He just needs the pass to be made. We don't make the pass, and voila. So I don't know if that's Arteta, if that's the player, if that's the system, but that should be a pass to your striker and let him figure it out.
It's Arteta in the system.
So yeah.
So it's on the players too, though. The players have to.
So for me, this is not on Ughhhhh though, right? This is on.
No. This is on the person with the ball.
Yeah, I think that's Martinelli. But I mean, we know Martinelli, football, IQ. You know, we know it's not all it's cracked up to be. But I was trying to talk about the Everton game. We never even got to it.
Yeah, got 2 minutes to finish.
Yeah, we'll go for a little bit longer. Let me see if I can make sure I've gotten through everything. Boy, I didn't expect this to go back three. Yeah, that's right. Tony's always talking back three, and Spencer's there to provide a little bit of help with him. Back three wing backs could work. Yeah. Notice that Ughhhhh is best in the 50th to 65th minute. I think he should be better, but in all parts of the game. But that's on his teammates sometimes. The stat about Erdegaard passing to Ughhhhh is as bad as when Xhaka didn't make one single pass to Martinelli, the closest player to him as an 8. Yeah, that sometimes the right answer is right there in front of your face. So you don't even make it. Like I said, I can't see how for 60 minutes he did not find his striker, and he's supposed to be one of the most creative players we've seen in a while. But how comfortable are each of you with the idea of Salmon starting against Palace? Well, if he doesn't get games before that, I don't want him playing in that one. So the only way he's going to start in that game is if he started a game before it, or he's gotten 30, 40 minutes in a game before it. Otherwise, no, I don't.
He make an appearance, but he ain't starting. I think because what do you got?
I think they're talking because we're going to have that's going to be a midweek game. So are you going to try to? You're not going to play. You don't want to play your starting back line in 3 straight games because I think that's a tough schedule for us. A tough run of games there, right? Because we're playing. Who are we playing at? We're playing. It's Everton on Saturday, and then we play Crystal Palace on Tuesday, and then Brighton on Saturday. So a short week after the Everton game, right? You get Sunday, Monday, then you're playing, and then you get like 3 days between the Crystal Palace and Brighton.
You want to tinker too much with the back line because that's how you ended up in that game the other week.
This League Cup is important in my book.
Everything is important. So
right, I'm not saying go with the strongest team, but you don't do too much tinkering in there because you've got. I think you just said it. You've got the Everton game. You got Palace coming up, and then you've got, I believe, Brighton
Yeah, Brighton.
27th. Then
And then
you
you
have
have Villa.
at
Yeah,
home,
Villa. Yeah.
and then the following that weekend you have Liverpool at home.
Yeah, yeah. So you got Bournemouth in the middle. So we're gonna, like you said, you get So like, we don't have an easy stretch through this.
No,
Through from the holiday season through the new year. So
but depending on who comes back between now
yeah,
and Saturday, which again,
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna get.
yeah.
You're not getting Gabrielle back. Could
Yeah.
you get a Havertz potentially back in the rotation? I don't know. I thought I heard something about January.
Yeah, let me look at this Premier League injury table here. So
But I
supposedly,
thought that's why we did the.
supposedly, like the earliest player that's going to come back is Gabrielle is supposed to come back late, like 2 days after Christmas. Calafiori should be back, of course, this weekend.
Yeah,
And then Kai Havertz is supposed to be the end of the year.
like December 30th.
Yeah, exactly. And early January we should have Mascara back. So, and then Max
And those will
Baumann
feel like
is
new
up.
signings too, though. Even
Yeah.
though, like, again,
Yeah.
we know the limitations, you know,
Yeah.
but again, I'm not talking about Gabrielle, but I'm talking about Havertz in general. That'll be something that could interject into that front line as well as a rotational piece.
Yep.
So it's interesting to see how this is all going to fit itself out. But as far as Salmon starting Crystal Palace game, I think you could potentially give him the first 45. You could potentially say, "Hey, you're going to start this game."
Yeah. No, he needs to have played before. He's talking about starting, and if starting, not unless he's played games before that, and I don't see that happening, especially that.
But I
stretch of
think it
games.
depends on who plays around him as well.
Yeah.
If you were to play like Saliba and Gabrielle next to him, yes, you could start him
But
without.
that means you're playing a back three, or you're playing. Who's playing fullback?
Is it
Barry's playing back three.
I thought Salmon was a fullback.
I thought he's a center back, so or maybe I have that. I thought he's a center back for us. Let's see what it says here.
I thought it was just center back.
Salmon says defender. Let's see what it says here. Defender.
Worst case scenario, you go no guard in that game as your starting center back.
Yeah, he's a center back, or he can play right back. So let's see where he's played most of the time. But I think he's I thought he was a center back. So let's see what it says here. Anywhere on a center back, right side. So he can play any center back position, left or right, but he's mostly plays on the right. When he doesn't play on the center back, he plays as a right back, but he's primarily a center back based on the games he's played. That's what Transfer Market said. Yes, there's that 9-minute video of a lot of Ughhhh's wasted runs. So
again,
at Sporting, everyone passed to Ughhhh. Yeah, I mean, it's not that we have to pass him all the time, but you can't change. You can't bring in that type of player and it not be part of the new approach. That guess what? We have a different kind of striker now. Those passes that you wouldn't put into Kai Havertz and Moreno, you put them in. All right. It's like asking players to do something they can't. Like a player who can't really play from the back, you can ask them to do something different. This is the same thing. There was no pass in that pitch. It would never make it to Ughhh's. I think it would have. Like you just saw a still frame of that one, Steven. If you saw it live, he's running and he pulls up when the pass isn't made because he doesn't want to go off sides. So when he stops running, the pass is gone. But you see your striker got a guy on his shoulder, you make that pass. Maybe Van Dijk comes out, but that leaves the middle open, right? For somebody who should be coming across. But we don't make the pass at all, so nothing happens. So, yeah, the picture doesn't do it justice. But if you watch the video, I saw it on Curtis Shaw this morning, or is it 2 mornings ago? You're like looking at it going, oh my, we got to make that pass. How much agency do players have? Urgency, I think you meant, right? Yeah. Salmon should not start at all. He's undersized and not strong enough. Yeah, he needs time. Needs to rush him in. Minutes late in games to seal it, not seal it, but to see it out. Good. The Palace game will be a tough one. I don't expect us to get out of that one without an injury. I hope, we get a win. I guess we'll take the injury, but I don't want any of that either. So
We're injuries for a while.
I want Chelsea. I don't care who we play. Just we need to win. I don't care who we play. I think we could play. There's not one team that should be a bother for us. Doesn't matter. We should be able to beat everybody we play. All right, Everton's coming up. Everton's coming up. Everton is coming up next. What you guys think? What you think? What you think? What you think?
It became a bogey team for us ever since Arteta became manager. I think in the first 2 seasons, Everton got more points against us than the whole time Arteta played for Everton. I don't know why it's a bogey team. It happens in a lot of sports when you go against your own team.
Yep. And they're going to be out a lot of players, right? Because I believe they're saying Jack Grealish is doubtful. And Dye, he's out. Gaye, he's out. I think those are 2 of their starters. Shrewsbury Hall is out. Once again, we're playing a team that, they might be at a Wolves level with all those injuries, all those players out for, I think, either for AFCON or injuries.
I feel like you'll know in the first 20 minutes how the game's going to go. I really believe that.
Yeah.
So we shall see how this goes. I'm confident about this weekend. I know we've had some issues with Everton in the past.
Yep.
But it's going to start. The offense has got to click eventually here.
Mm-hmm.
And this was going to be the tough part of the fixture list anyway. Survive and advance is the way I look at it right now. You're only 2 points above City. You play your game, period. That doesn't matter what they do. Who cares? You control your own destiny at this point. Do remember that. Go there, handle your business, enjoy Christmas. Get back to work on the 27th. Brighton, I believe that's a home game, correct? Or is that an away game?
I think it's a away game because that's because the Liverpool is after that. So
right.
So we play away at Everton, home in the cup against Crystal Palace. So we don't. What do we do at home?
Handle business usually.
What don't we do at home?
Lose.
Yeah. So that home is home is where the heart is. That's where we do our thing. Brighton is home, and then Villa is. We played 3 home games in a row. Crystal Palace, Brighton, and Villa are all at home. So we have a nice run of games there, all at home. We don't travel at all, right? Everton away is not a big trip, right? I believe. Or is it a big trip?
It's
I don't
big.
know.
I think it's big.
It's a big trip. But Crystal Palace, Brighton, Villa, all at home. Bournemouth away, and Liverpool. So we got.
We've only conceded 3 goals at home.
Yeah, and Saliba will be back for he'll be back there for the Everton game. So I think our back line way better than theirs, way better than most teams, and we're missing Gabriel. So this is a team that we must get our goals early and not drag anything out for sure. And we've seen them play without an extra man, right? So they have a little bit of heart in them, so they will think they can get something out of this game. You got to take it away from them. And I think let's look at this thing here. Coming into the game, Everton just lost, right? Yeah, they just lost. I think, they just lost. So, who they lose to? I wish this thing doesn't show up as good as it used to.
I can't remember, but it was Chelsea, I thought.
Let's see.
Was it Chelsea?
And let's see what it says here. Everton.
It's 2-0.
I clicked something. I clicked the wrong button here. All right, here we go. Yep, they lost to Chelsea 2-0. Yeah. And for me, when I see that scoreline, I'm like, Chelsea's defense not that good. What was going on with Everton that day? But I think they lost Shrewsbury Hall in that game.
We're seeing a lot of inconsistencies across the league, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you really look at the whole what we've seen as far as even take Monday for example, Bournemouth Man United, it was a 4-4 thriller. It was a great game, fun to watch. I mean, we've seen We've seen some weird results this year, right? And that's why, like, and people talk to other people about who the true title contenders are. To me, it's still Arsenal and City. I know Villa's played well. I know Villa's has beat both City and Arsenal, but I don't know how consistent they are to make that big run. But again, if Arsenal show a lack of consistency and City has shown they can give up goals, and they've already lost games. They lost to Spurs this year. They lost to Newcastle. Like you know what I mean? Like this title race could be wide open if Arsenal and City don't handle their business.
Yeah.
And we've seen Arsenal's had a wobble, right? You could argue.
You know what the difference is, and everybody knows this. They don't want to say it, but all the teams we're playing, they're not rotating their back line consistently like we have. They're not doing it. They've been playing a lot of times. City is not changing a lot of players on their squad. They don't have and that makes a difference. Continuity between players and consistency comes with the players you put on the pitch.
There's been a drop off defensively after losing Gabriel Saliba. We knew that was going to happen.
Yep.
We just knew that was going to happen.
Yep.
So the fact that it hasn't completely fallen off, I guess you could sit there and be slightly thankful for. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see when we sit here 3 weeks from now, what the narrative is and what the actual results and the performances look like. And it's a big unknown. It really is. This Everton game, it's a new stadium for them. It's David Moyes. United lost. I mean, like, anything could happen this weekend. But at the same time, if the Arsenal show up as the Arsenal we know, we'll be sitting here again Monday night talking about 3 more points on the board.
Yep. So all we need to do is get the 3 points. We play like I said, performance will matter. We play a good game, we'll get the 3 points. We play a bad game, it's all up in the air.
Yep.
Not confident about Everton at all, especially after that last show. Everton will not score all the goals for us, and maybe that doesn't matter. But you know what? We win different ways. We'll find a way to win this one like we have in most of the games. Find a way to get back into a game like in most of the games. Nobody's running away from us, right? So defensively we'll be stronger. That will make a difference. We'll have probably, they might give us more possession. We'll have hopefully better play from hopefully Ughhhhh plays. Hopefully we don't do anything. We don't make any significant changes there. We'll continue to get better with their front line. Trossard will come back. Hopefully that'll make a difference. Otherwise, I think the lineup. We know what the lineup is. I think everything but Martinelli out of the game. So your dark horse is Villa.
Do you start Eze or do you start Odegaard?
You start Eze starts.
Trossard starts too.
Yeah.
So that just answers the question of where they
unless
go. There's no unless.
Hold on, unless you want to do Madueke and Saka, which I don't hate. But Trossard gives us something too. There's something with him this year. I used to think he was a big sub for us, and I still think he's probably
when he's rolling, you just roll with it. You know what I mean? But like, is he gonna play all 4 games that we have these big 4 games in a row? I don't think we should. I don't think we should do that. I don't think you can do that at the same level. So I think you're gonna have to rotate, and that might be when Madueke comes in. I think if we try to get
definitely start him against Aston Villa.
Yeah, so that means he'll get the Bournemouth game off, right? Because that's the game right before that. So there'll be time for him to get rest, and there'll be time for him not to play all 90 minutes and stuff like that. This one, we want to get back into the groove, win again, and go from there, right? Villa is a dark horse, yeah, they are, but we'll see the consistency. We'll see when the Champions League games come back in how that plays out.
Yeah, I mean the talent's there for Villa. I just don't know if we're sitting here in May and they're still within a striking distance. I just don't know.
Yeah,
are they a top 4 team? Probably.
Yeah.
Given the fact that United is who they are and Liverpool are wobbling, Chelsea are inconsistent.
Yeah, well,
hard to say.
Villa's on a 5-game, at least their form. They've won the last 5. They
Yes.
play Manchester United.
They're
this
conceding
weekend.
goals
So
too. They're conceding goals. That's the thing about them.
yeah, I think everybody's conceding goals. I like to think we're not conceding goals. So
Not
you
to the
know,
level that we're seeing other teams concede in the
yeah,
league. I think Arsenal conceded now 9 in the league
yep.
or something like
At least
that.
it's 10 now.
Yeah.
So
And again, that all comes down to not having Gabriel and Saliba available. If those
Yep.
2 guys are available, we don't lose that Villa game. The Chelsea game, who knows how that one goes? These are all what ifs. Who knows? It could be completely wrong, but
no, it makes a difference. I mean,
it does matter.
We gave up headers in both of those games with if our big men are there. I don't think that happens. I mean, Hinkapia hasn't done well on those crosses coming in. He's stepped away from his guy. He kept people on. He kept people on side with the way he's played. So
I do like him though. There's something about him.
I think he'll be fine. Like
play.
Gyökeres, he'll just. It's not going to happen immediately. I think Newcastle has been suddenly building a contender for the last 3 years. You say that.
They just lost to Sunderland too.
No, you say that, but I think if I recall, where do they sit right now?
I want to say 13th.
Yeah, they're 12th in the league right now. And if I recall, one of their losses in the last, let's see, in the last 5 games that they've played,
they're underperforming in my opinion.
They beat City 2-1 at home. They beat Everton on the road. They drew 2-2 at home to that team. They won 2-1 home against Burnley, and then they lost away to Sunderland. So, the last 3 games they've not been. I don't think that would be considered complete. They should be beating that team. They should be beating Burnley. I think Houndley and Sunderland, they didn't even score. So yeah. Villa has one problem: lack of depth. Yep, for sure. We'll see. See if it wears on them. But I think Everton, like anything else, we should be able to manage that game and see it out with a win. Like every other game, we'll keep the game close as opposed to blow it out, which is what we should be doing. But I think we'll see what kind of game this plays out to be. I think these players hopefully are, Villa, not gonna let that happen again. We're gonna play all 90 minutes, and then this one, I think we can do better than no shots scored. Right?
Yeah, that's there's no way that can maintain itself, because even at the Villa game, the previous game on the weekend, there was multiple shots, not very quality shots, but there was at least shots. So,
yeah. All right, Tony. Anything else you want to say about football?
Yeah. Well, one thing, it does support what Spencer wanted. Rice is dead tired because you've seen 2 crosses that didn't get in the air. Then he did it on a free kick. If he's not tired, then he's not.
Norgard has to have a place. Norgard needs to have a place in this squad. Needs to have a role in this squad. That's the problem. You have a player that should be able to replace Rice. Use him. You should have a player that should be able to come in and give Zubimendi some spot time. Use him. You have Nweri who should be able to come in and maybe you take off either Zubimendi or Rice. Right? We have answers for those guys. Don't need to play 90 minutes.
You gotta use it.
Here's the other thing too. You might have a guy like a Nweri that comes in and recognizes, Yorkers is making that run. Let me pass that ball. I mean, that's a fact. So, yeah. But, we shall find out this Saturday.
Yep. We'll find out. But Spencer, what say you?
Well, enjoy the rest of your week. The holidays are coming up, and I think Hanukkah's going on right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it started Monday.
Believe so, yeah. So happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate. Christmas is next Thursday. So yeah, enjoy this time of year. I know it's hard for some people. Everybody has their families around and everything, but if you do something, just enjoy. I guess is the best way to say it. So
Cool. Yes, sir. All right. I'll say this, everybody. We will be back next Monday. It'll be just before the end of not the end of the year, but the holiday season at least kicks off for me. My last day of work is the 23rd, so until the new year. So I'll be enjoying that. So maybe I might even try to have some additional shows and stuff because I won't have work for about 10 days. So
no, you're gonna have work. I'm gonna make you go work my job.
No, I don't want. No, so I'm not doing that.
You can.
I worked hard to get these days. I'm taking them. I'm taking them. But everybody, thank you for joining us,
How
Tony.
did you end up with so many days when you switched jobs?
Because you know what happened when I took this job? They looked at the number of years I've been working, and they gave me the maximum number of vacation days that they could. And
because he's old, honey.
And then yeah.
I know he has them, but it's still
yeah. And then like we have company shutdown day, so from the 24th through the 1st, the company we shut down. So yeah, everybody's off. So that's nice. So that's really nice. So yeah, that's how I have all this time, and I don't use all my days anyways. I'm always rolling over some days. I'll probably use a lot of them this year, so we'll see. But yeah, I got the maximum number of days, and then what they did is they capped it after that. Probably a couple months after that, they capped it and said this is the maximum number of days, and I'm like, well, I don't have to worry about that. So it worked out nice for me. I got in a good time. I'll take it. But Tony, hopefully you said you weren't feeling so well, but you look good. You did it, and hopefully you're feeling better.
Better, antibiotics are.
Yeah. I'd like to say thank you for pushing around the videos and stuff, Spencer. Great. Once again, great having you on the show. Enjoy going back and forth with you, even though you're wrong.
No, I'm not.
Even though you're wrong.
I'm not always right, but I know I'm not.
You were right about a back three.
Yeah, you were finally right. See, that's what he said. He meant to say you were finally right about something, the back three. But everybody in the chat, we'll be doing this again next Monday. Check us out this weekend for the usual trip. Arsenal does not play until what day do they play? I think they play once again. Oh no, they played late. They played late on Saturday once again. They got us late again. I don't understand. No 10 o'clock games for us. So we'll be back 8 o'clock Eastern time. We're playing the same time as Leeds. You know what? Maybe I'll do a watch along for myself because I'm gonna be watching it, and the Leeds will be playing anyways. Maybe
Leeds are playing at 3 o'clock.
We're playing. The Leeds is playing. Yeah, two games in that 8 o'clock slot. So that might be a good weekend. I'm gonna watch the game anyway, so why not just do a watch along too? But we'll see how that plays out. I think all of my kids will be, or at least most of my kids will be home. So we'll see what's going on. But I definitely going to watch that game. So we'll see you guys next Monday. Have a good rest of your week. We'll see you on the weekend show back on Monday. And thank you very much. Let's see. Hope to be around on the weekend after my surgery. Hope to see you in the chat, Stephen. Hope you have a successful surgery and whatever ails you. Like I said, any pains, hope that all goes away. And we are out of here.
Life is a journey. Don't waste the trip. Enjoy the ride. There you go.